Ready, set, rose.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the wings of KI.
KI is a madman.
In a short span of time, he has flown effortlessly to the top. His ascension to the pinnacle of the Chutney Soca industry has blown everyone away, including his critics. Born into music royalty and prodigal son of legendary musician Persad, Chris K.I. Persad has proven to the universe that perfection in his craft of creating music is what differentiates him from others with whom he shares the skies with. As he continues to soar to immeasurable heights, he leaves many mystified by his majestic prowess, keen acumen for music production, awe-inspiring performances, and of course, his indelible charm and charisma. Join me as we hover above the omnipotent musical career of the future of Chutney Soca. This is the Wings of KI. Hey KI, welcome. It is so good to have you.
Thank you so much, Rose. I must say it's definitely a pleasure to be working with you for the first time in New York City.
I'm so happy because it's the first time.
Yeah.
And the good thing about it is that it's going to be a candid interview. We didn't review any of the questions.
Nothing at all. I'm nervous.
Between excited and nervous, are you a combination of both?
Both, I must say. I mean, I'm never really nervous, you know. Just more so curious as to what it is you're going to ask me and I'm going to answer it. Let's go for it.
Don't worry. I know you love to talk and you're a great speaker. And the good thing about you is that you speak from your heart.
Always.
And
most definitely.
What you feel. Speaking about your heart, I see that you're wearing KI and it's inevitable that I know that your name is Chris Vishal Persad and people wonder, what does KI, where did that stage name come from?
You know, my sobriquet is actually the most boring story of all time.
Okay.
A friend of mine years ago in Toronto, I hadn't seen him since high school, and he was with his girlfriend, his wife to be actually, and we met up just randomly at a grocery. And he's like, yo, we gotta hang out, man, a long time. And I was like, yeah, for real, take my contact. So he told this girl, he's like, take his number, save it as KI. I said, what is that? And he's like, he looked at me like I was strange, and I was like, no, you said KI, and I called my dad, and I was like, yo, I asked me a new name.
So just
so we just stuck
you
with
just
KI.
like that
Yeah,
name.
I just like the way it sounded. Maybe he didn't even say that. Maybe I just heard that, but it worked for me.
You liked it
Yeah, I
easily.
loved
And what's
it.
his name?
Ryan Fu.
All right.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about Toronto. You live in Canada. Tell us how long you migrated to Canada and what was the reason for it?
I've been living in Toronto since December 11, 1995. 20 years. Yeah. When I say we didn't move because we wanted to leave Trinidad per se, just that the entire family, you know, everybody started moving and migrating, mom's side, dad's side as well. So of course, you know, we wanted to go with the family as well, and we joined everybody. We joined our family up there, and we built a life up there. And of course, not forgetting Trinidad and Tobago, being dual citizens and having traveled back and forth all the time since.
Well, you spoke about your family. I know you're a family guy. You live with your dad, Virendra, mom, Mala, dad... Maya.
Yes.
And your brother, Vishant?
Yes, correct, is right. Four of
Tell
us.
us what's family life like.
Family life for us, let me tell you, we don't have the traditional everyday life that most people will do. We don't have the 9 to 5. We don't have that full schedule. My brother's in university. My mom works as well, but not a regular schedule. And of course, my dad and I with the music. But when we get time together, I mean, I talking about is good time. We get to sit down at home, sprawl out in our living room, sometimes for an entire day, sometimes for a week, and just watch TV, cooking. I mean, I love to cook. Mom loves to cook. Brother don't really cook that much. Dad can't even boil water. So we do these things, and it's very intimate because we appreciate the times that we get an opportunity to really be together without anything bothering us or anything coming in between that time. Because when it is we don't have that time together, I mean, we really don't have that time. I have not seen my mother or my brother since the 2nd of January this year. And was that 3 months? A touring, carnival, everything like that. So, you know, very soon I'm going to see them again. But once you get that time together, you take advantage of it and you really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your relationship like with your dad and your mom?
I am close, super close with both, but in different ways.
How do they differ as parents?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, Dad Dad is like when I say our best friend, we grew up in the music per se, especially me coming out of high school, joining the band. It was nice working alongside him and now becoming the leader of the band as well. He's a real cool guy, but he also more traditional. You go watch news whole day, and you know, the more protective one. Mom on the other hand, if I have like the girl problems and you know, I can still quicker go to mom and be like, hey, I don't know what to say, or what should I do in this situation, and she would give the better advice. Dad would more be like, nah, don't study it. but we all very close in different ways, and it's very important because it covers all bases at the end of it.
Yeah. I understand that your brother, Prashant, is a prolific upcoming music producer.
He's ridiculous. That's what he is.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
He's well, before I even tell you about music, he's third year. He's in his third year at the University of Toronto for business management. Super intelligent guy, and musically, he's doing things that I was not even slightly capable of at his age. Producing, I mean, he's a keyboardist, yes, but he's a producer as well, and he's very tech savvy. And the stuff that this guy is producing, I mean, I'm very excited for everybody to hear, which is going to continue to be coming out. We're going to start releasing a lot more this year. And great singer as well, great singer, but he's a bit more shy than I am, so not as outspoken, but he's getting there. But very soon people are going to get to hear everything he's capable of. And
would he be joining your band soon?
You know, I have no idea. Hopefully, I mean, everything I have in life is for him. I always tell everybody that. But it's his choice. After he finishes his degree, if he wants to pursue a career in Toronto, if he wants to join the band. But I know definitely music is in his heart and he won't leave it out. I just don't know which path he's going to take just yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at age 8 to be exact, you kind of knew what path you're going to take. Let's go back to 1995
Right.
when you won Children of Mastana.
Yeah.
That little kid with a do-rag / bandana, shades, no teeth.
No teeth.
You won. And tell us about that performance and who was your stylist? And most importantly, how did you know to make eye contact? That stage presence was so great. Who taught you that?
Let me tell you something. Mom was his stylist.
Hi, Mom. Great.
Yeah. Mom was responsible for the dressing and things like that. Dad is the guy who taught me to play keyboards. And when it came to the eye contact, they were just in the crowd, so I was just looking at them. And my brother was just born as well. You know, he's just sitting there. He's in a show. He's a baby. You know, I excited, so I had no see that I smiling and playing and just watching him and watching my parents and my entire family, my grandparents and my aunts and my uncles were there and stuff. But that's what it was. I was just looking at the family, and you know, as a kid, 8 years old, nervous as well. So of course I want to look at them just to feel a little warm and to feel a little more.
You were looking at your parents,
yes,
into the crowd.
At the family, yes, correct.
The family.
Yeah.
What age did you start playing your first instrument?
It was actually for Children of Mastana. That was at the end of 1994, I believe. Yeah, the end of 1994 is when my dad taught me my first song.
So you grew up in a musical household, it's safe to say.
Yes, most definitely. My uncles were the ones responsible for Trevini, the band that is now KI the band. They started Trevini on November 27, 1977. My great-grandfather, Pandit Persad, my uncle Sital, of course my dad. My mom had music in her family as well, but not really her. She can't even spell music.
She's the cook.
Yeah.
And that's where your cooking side comes
Mommy
from.
was more the modeling and the photography and stuff like that. Yeah. Mom was a finalist in Miss Trinidad and Tobago 2 years before I was born, yeah. But no, back to the music though. A very musically inclined family. So of course I was born into it and I couldn't really escape it.
And what was it like growing up? Was your dad always, encouraging you to learn musical instruments and wanting you to be a singer?
After winning Children of Mastana that year, I won the Balticast competition as well in Trinidad. We migrated that year to Toronto, and most important for them was my academics.
Okay.
But at the same time, they put me in piano classes so I could learn correctly. And we started learning classical piano as my brother was growing older. He joined me as well. I would get in trouble every single day, every week, because I would refuse to practice. But they never pushed me into being in the music life. I remember at one point when I was 10 or 11 years or 12 years old, I was telling my mom, I was like, I don't even want to go to a show. Because at that point in time, I was just trying to figure out who I was now growing up into the man that I would be, but still far from it. But it was only when I was about 14, 15, then I was like, yo, I like music. music is really, I can't run away from this no matter what I do. And I was just starting high school too. And it's a nice feeling being able to produce something to make others smile. And ultimately that's what it was for me. And then I was able to play piano in school, and at 14, 15, 16 years old, and at the talent shows and stuff in high school, and just doing little things, simple things back then, but you know, people enjoyed it, and that was my happiness. And I found out, hey, well, happiness has no definition. It is signature to each and everyone, and to me, that was my happiness, just making people smile and enjoy what I could give to them.
I like that. It wasn't forced to you by your parents, but you discovered it on your own.
Yes.
After touring of Mastana, you've proven that you've turned into such a powerhouse in the music industry. Your knowledge, your general input, your presence is considered to be warranted by many artists out there, and you're even seen as a mentor. I'm going to ask you an honest question. Within the past 5 years, who are some of your mentors?
Every single person that is in this brand sector, every person that's in the industry, every person that's in the crowd. I know that sounds like the diplomatic answer, but it's really the truth. Because I've learned so much from every aspect of being on stage, as opposed to rival artists, as opposed to the people in the crowd who would love you, as to the ones who don't love you. And when I say that, let me explain, let me break it down.
Okay.
The mentors have been, let's say I talk about the people in the crowd. I would hold on and make sure I keep repeating the things that I do that people love about me. And the people that don't really hold on to me, maybe one or two of them, I would figure out what it is they don't like, and I'd make sure to get to them. So let's just say one of them they're probably not a KI supporter because they're so diehard of a diehard fan of another artist. I would find a way to reach out to them and just hold on to them in a way that they can't even compare me to that person anymore. So I'm always learning from everybody. When it comes to the artists as well, I mean, you learn so much from the experienced artists, some things they do on stage that is brilliant. You know, you take little things and you put them together. It's always a learning process. You're always educating yourself. Sometimes there are things that artists do on stage that don't work, and I will go home and be like, wait, how do I want to do that, boy? Make sure you don't ever do that on stage neither. So I mean, technically, everybody, they are all mentors. The answer you're really looking for.
Yes.
Of course, my band, musically, they've taught me a lot. I've gained a lot of priceless experience with these guys. They've been on stage for so long, and I must say big up to my band and YouTube. YouTube is a very big mentor. The reason I say that is because at night, I spend a lot of time alone. And when I say a lot of time, I mean a lot of time just by myself. And I'm always online and going through videos of all these international performers and learning from them, learning musically and looking at their ideas on stage and trying to adopt these ideas and not copy it, but make it my own, just with the influence of it.
I like the way you think, and that's very liberal as well. But if you had to pick 3 people you look up to, who would that be?
Musically, 3 people I look up to. Virendra Persad, Michelle Montano, my boy. Who's the third boy? There are so many, yeah. But I'm a big up my boy Nival Sheklal.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a big up my boy Nival. This guy after Mastana Bahar just disappeared and went into a special place and just returned a monster. And people might laugh at me, you might even comment on this when you're looking at this interview and say, I'm crazy for saying this, but I know it's gonna sound whatever. He is the greatest singer on earth.
Tell me why you say that.
There's nobody that can sing like Nival Sheklal. English, Indian matters not the genre of music. This guy is just God sent. I don't think he belongs here. But Nival big up himself. I mean, Nishad, don't ignore.
Well, staying on the topic of Nival, this February you dropped some hot news that after 38 years, there's a name change from Triveni to KI and the band.
Yes.
Tell us more about that.
It was time to evolve. It was time to rebrand. I mean, Triveni has been a brilliant brand, in which it changed over the past as well. I mean, initially it was TRIVENI Triveni, then it went to Triveni Brass, then we went to JMC Triveni with the T, then we changed it to 3VENI Then it was Ki and Trevini. So it's just been Trevini, but been changing. And like everything else, I mean, rebranding, evolution, change is inevitable. We have to do it. And we just found that it was time to give the people a brand new product. And with the brand KI that has been working so well and it's surrounded by positivity, we decided, hey, let's take advantage of that brand right now. As it's brand new, I mean, it's only 5.5 years old since the inception of my singing career. And I called Dad and I said, listen, it's time to make this change and I'm ready to take over this band now. And he's like, I've been waiting for you to call. That's what happened. And I did it. Funny enough, when my father took over Trevini, he was 28 years old going on 29. And it just so happens that I took over the band at 28 going on 29 as well. And then working hand in hand with our brothers and the brands that are Nival Chetlal and Nishad M. 3 strong brands all together in one band. And that's why we decided to go with the band. Because instead of creating a brand new name for people to remember and things like that, let's get straight to the point. Who are these guys? They are the band. So, you know, when Nival does a song, he won't say Nival Chetlal and Ki and the band. You know, it was Nival Chetlal and the band.
Right.
The same thing, Nishadem and the band, Ki and the band. Although, I mean, it is Ki and the band. These guys, we belong to the band, and my talented musicians, that's who they are, man. They are the band.
Well, thanks for breaking it down like that. That's
Yeah.
a really good way to put it. I remember when I interviewed Nival, he spoke very highly about you and how, you know, you give him that space, but
Yeah.
yet he feels free to be that solo artist, but at the same time, welcome in the band.
Yes.
I wanted to go back a little bit. You always say that Trevini is the first to create crossover music in Trinidad and Tobago. Tell me why you say that.
Well, Trevini, I wouldn't use the word create. Trevini is the first Indian band to become a crossover band in Trinidad and Tobago. They were the first 1987, 1988. Virendra Persad, Trevini alongside people like Drupati Ramgun, Iriki Jai. Those are the people that really came out and put the soca elements into the chutney, into the Indian music, and created what is crossover, which is what is more so chutney soca. We call it crossover music, but those were the pioneers of that, which is the music we live in today. So Trevini was the first band, and followed by everybody else afterwards. I mean, not followed, it's not bad. I don't mean to say it like that, but
No, I understand.
yeah.
Trinidad, as we know, is home to many musical genres. We have calypso, we have soca, which is doing progressively well. Then we have chutney soca. Chutney soca, I would say, is about 40 years young.
Yeah.
Who would you say
Oh.
are some of the pioneers in the business who have revolutionized chutney music from where it first began till now, present state?
There are so many names I could call right now. I mean, you have from, of course, Sundar Popo.
Yes, for
You,
sure.
you have the Yankarans, you have the Dindials. You have so many people that contributed so much towards culture. The Prabhus, a lot of them, I hope I'm not forgetting any. Everybody has contributed so much, from the more mature artists to the present ones, including myself. What we have done, especially, I believe, what was important with Single Forever. That was a very, very, very important song for Chutney Soca, because that year I created a sound that never existed before, and it became a new branch of what we call chutney. But then the people who don't necessarily listen to chutney 24/7 or don't belong to this market, they weren't even calling it chutney, but they identified that it had chutney elements.
Right.
And we created a way to sell this music to every single person, no matter what the ethnic background or anything like that. It just ended up working. So I mean, all of us very instrumental from yesteryear up until the present in the evolution of chutney music.
And when you say we create, who are you talking about?
Well, when I refer to Single Forever, I speak of my team, myself, my band, my producer, Maha Productions. I'm Asirishi Mahatu, one of the greatest we have. Just a lot of talented people all together doing music for the right reasons.
Tell us how did Single Forever come about?
I don't have to stay at home, I don't have to answer phone, I could have any girl in my car. Oh, I could be single forever. Oh, I could be single forever.
You really want to know?
Sure, I would love to know it.
Single Forever came about like this. I was going into my 3rd year of singing, Well, the second and a half year. Yeah, that's it. A rival artist paid my songwriter not to write for me.
Who was your songwriter?
I wouldn't say the name.
Okay.
But this songwriter, he wrote for all of us, and he ended up paying him, pretty much kind of stay from the key. It wasn't said like that, but that was the story. And I ended up without a songwriter. And I said to myself, what am I gonna do? Because I've never had to sit down and write a chutney by myself or anything like that. And frustrated, under pressure. I want to succeed with going into another carnival season. I mean, we need something strong as well to keep living. I mean, it's very much so a gamble, this life. You need songs to keep going. No songs, no shows. How do you live? How do you pay the bills that everybody else pays? We don't have the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And it was around Diwali time in 2011. And my dad and the band, they were in Trinidad getting ready to play for the Diwali Nagar, and I actually went back home to be with the family for a bit in Toronto. And I woke up one morning and I was just singing la 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 la, and I called my dad. I say, yo, hear this. And he listened and he's like, yeah. I was like, la 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 la. And then he said on the phone, oh. I was like, true. And I said, oh, la 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 la. I said, oh, was him. But we put it together like that. And then we went back to Trinidad, and I had the idea of single forever. Since the beginning of the year we were in Guyana. I remember telling some fellow artists about the idea as well. And yeah, we wrote the song, man. I mean, everybody had their 2 cents. Rishi Mahatu, must say hats off. Big up to my boy Salim Bihari, Master Salim. We know him as Stinky.
Right.
He wrote the second line in Single Forever. When I said I don't want to stay, I told people I don't want to answer phone. I said, good line. That's the line right there. So everybody put their 2 cents in. Funny enough, on the way to release, we were going to Bacchanal Radio.
Okay.
To release Single Forever, and I watched my dad in the car. My uncle was with us. He was driving, and I said, let me tell you something, and I'm happy, and he said, boy, I was feeling the same way too, and I just want to tell you to break his spirit.
Not happy about the lyrics?
The song. Yeah, we were unsure of it. But I think that was just us playing devil's advocate, because we loved it. But we just tried to be perfectionists so much that sometimes you get ahead of yourself and you try to dissect things too much that you end up going too much behind it and not seeing the beauty of it. And that's what had happened with Single Forever. So we almost turned around and not released the song.
Really?
And I told my uncle, I said, turn the car around, we have a week to play with again. We will release it. This was the 9th of December, 2011. And you go to turn on the car by Trinity and I say, go, we are none to lose.
Right.
Yeah, we are none to lose. Let me just do it. If anything, we could do our next song again. And that's Single Forever. But trust me, it's a big story. We did that song about 7 times.
So it was you and Stinky who wrote the lyrics?
No, I wrote the song.
Okay.
But of
He
course,
just came up with one line.
Stinky had a line, my dad had a line, my dad came up with the river verse, river line, we playing card, no man to get on mad, things like that. So everybody put in a little 2 cents, but overall I wrote the song. Yeah.
I think that was, to whoever your enemy is or was.
I would use the word enemy, yeah. Let's say rival.
I would say that was a sort of way of God trying to push you to take over.
Well, every year, I mean, this is some juice for some people that you might not know, but every year there's one individual and team, they do something that works negatively towards me, but then drives me to do something and go even further in a positive way.
Is this where Monster Writers came about?
No, not really Monster Writers, just a bunch of friends who all love writing and have fun in studio and decided let's brand it.
The reason I asked that is because I see you helping, working along with your colleagues like SW Storm,
yeah, of course,
Bikash, even Chef Jason Peru. You worked with
my brothers, all my brothers. Next Man Wife, Stinky came to my house, and that was the night to work on his song. We dedicated that night to his song. And I sat down behind the piano, I started writing, and I was like, yo, and now it's our next man, why? He's like, yeah. And we went with it. Vikash came with his own song, but then I went in the studio and, I doctored it, we changed it up with Maha as well. Chef Peru, Jason came with his song as well. I went in, I produced it with Maha Productions. put down dummy vocals, and then he went afterwards and did the final product. I did all the harmonies and the ad-libs and stuff on the track as well. So I make myself the common denominator in everything that we're a part of. If we're a family, I need to make sure that I'm in there so that the influence is correct, and I go there with the correct influence, not holding back anything, but giving 110% of me, which some people might say is bad, but I don't mind because this is pure.
Do you feel it's your way of self-actualization and nurturing the craft that you love so much?
You could say that, but I wouldn't go so in depth. It's just me loving what I do and being genuine to my friends. I mean, these guys are wonderful to me. They have been friends to me. They've been like family. Persad, of course, we mentioned Stinky, Chef, Nisha. Then we ain't got to talk about Nisha much. Nival. These guys spend a lot of time with me when I'm alone. And they take time away from their families because I'm always by myself sometimes traveling, and family in Toronto. So sometimes you're just by yourself, and these guys are there for me, and it's not that I feel obligated to be there for them, but I feel happy to be able to be there for them.
You've accomplished so much since you started singing in 2010 with your debut hit Sunita.
Yeah.
And you've claimed 2 Chutney Soca Monarch titles, respectively with Single Forever and Runaway. With such steady progression and your fans anticipating, they always want to know what you're going to come out with. What frame of mind does KI have to be in to graduate higher and higher and to do his best?
Wow, how do I even begin to answer this? We live it 24/7, and when I say we live it, we literally every single point of the day we're always thinking music. And frame of mind, as we're going into a carnival season, we start recording new songs for the carnival season. We record all year round. The worst thing and the last thing you want to do is sit down and try to write a song. You should never do it, and I advise artists. Some artists might have a different process, but for me, it comes. You should never plan what you want to sing, things like that. I sing about things that people can relate to. So that's why when people ask me what's gonna, like you asked them, what's gonna happen next year, what you're coming with next year, I'm never able to answer because I haven't lived that experience just yet. I wake up one morning where I experience something throughout the year, and I say, well, this is what I want to sing about. I mean, when I wrote Next Man Wife, that was really about me. I don't want to take full credit for the song Next Man Wife, but the parts that I did write, the topic was my topic. That was really about me, but I could not do it the year before because it didn't relate to me then. Sorry, don't get mad at me. No, but we just go on feelings, we go on positive energy, but never sit down and try to write a song because it will be forced.
So mainly the songs you write about is everyday happenings to you, stuff that occurs with you.
Everything that happens in life with me, and things that I know people can relate to because it happened to me as well. I mean, I'm a mammal. I drink water, I breathe air, I pay the same bills just like everybody else. So things that happen to me, others can relate to it most definitely, and that's what we try to always sing about. So sometimes people might come to me and say, Kay, you 5 years now you're singing about women, but days what I'm going through. You understand? I don't want to sing about something first, and by all means I enjoy singing about the things that I've experienced because I could really put my heart into it because I know what it is. The story is now real. It's not a storybook. It's not once upon a time. That's how you tell tales. My stories don't start once upon a time. My stories are real.
On part 2 of my interview with KI.
Personally, how does one feel to be dethroned?